This may look like a war zone, but it's not.
Hot.
It's a movie set. Every day, stuntmen put their lives on the line to bring storyboards to life. Professional stuntman Gaston Morrisson is one of the very best. Still, he knows that even the simplest stunt can turn ugly in the blink of an eye.
Motorcycles and jump stuff and that kind of thing, that's sort of, it's real tough to stay away from getting injured.
For stuntmen, pain and injury are just a part of the job.
Nobody go in! Nobody go in!
If you're gonna step it up and try to achieve new levels of skills, you're gonna get messed up. There's just no question about it.
My name is Greg. I am the AD on the show. First of all, I'd like to introduce our director. Come on up here, little guy. I don't think they'll be able to see you. This is Laurel Chartrand, the director.
This is the set of a horror thriller called Chemical Evil.
Prior to that, we'll have the cars dropped in here. We've got a couple of junker cars we're putting in here. That's our barricade for this alley.
Professional stuntman Laurel Chartrand wrote the script and is now making his directorial debut.
Blow off the locks with a little cell phone device thing.
I've had this idea for a long time about this serum, if you were injected with it, and it could heal your internal organs. And once you were killed, your internal organs healed and you could keep going. You know, what could we make of that? And it just grew from there.
Motorcycle with the one passenger, slide around the corner, little wheelie, and here it comes, open fire.
There's a really good story, and it's also set to be probably one of the biggest action horror movies made.
To make his movie stand out from all the other horror flicks being produced, Lauro is betting on what he knows best, stunts. In fact, when it comes to action, Lauro intends to break new ground.
On fire, going 60 miles an hour.
He wants to make stunts that no one has even tried before.
We're always taking chances. I mean, that's obvious. Unnecessary chances, you have to gauge that at the time.
Lauro has been a stuntman for almost 20 years and is very respected in the film industry. So when he decided to make his first feature film, he had no trouble recruiting some of the best stuntmen around.
Well, if we're sort of central on the alley and the camera's over there, that's...
We can be in here, sort of thing.
The first person he called was Gaston Morrisson. This former North American kickboxing champion has been a full-time stuntman for over 10 years. He's even doubled for Hollywood stars like Will Smith, Eddie Murphy, and LL Cool J.
Landing in here, I'm always trying to sort of be the best that I can be at whatever I'm trying to do. Not that I ever achieved that, but, you know, that's my goal. That's kind of, I'm always sort of in the back of my brain. It's like, I want to be really good at this, you know? So, I don't know, I try.
Also in for the duration is Jonathan Kralt. His nickname, Johnny Crash, says it all.
He's another really, really talented guy that, again, trains, focuses. This is his life. This is what he wanted to do. This is what he's doing.
I guess you could say I'm an adrenaline junkie.
Even though it's barely 8 a.m., the adrenaline is about to flow for Johnny Crash and Gaston. For their first stunt of the day, they're scheduled to perform a bike jump off a very steep and slippery hill. The two bikes will jump off separate ramps placed on top of the hill.
That's looking pretty good.
Hitting those ramps at full speed, they will literally take off.
They look pretty good?
Yeah, they feel good. Just, we're just gonna cheat the ramps as far as forward as we can, of course.
Yeah. Once we get camera, I guess, in there, we'll see when they don't see them.
The shot will require that Gaston and Jon each carry a passenger. But first, they will try out the jumps without the extra weight.
All right, you guys ready down there?
The guy over on camera left is going to come off first, and then he'll come second so that he can see him and the Jeep on his helmet cam. And it's away from your camera. Okay.
both
I'd like to
landing.
see them both leave, and then if we just stay on the last one as they go by.
All right, lock it up. All right, here we go. And action, Nathan.
For Gaston, bike jumps are normally exciting, but can sometimes turn sour. In 2002, on the set of the movie Rollerball, he almost lost his life.
As I went up the one ramp, I get up in the air, and I'm thinking this is the shot where they're looking at me, and they're gonna see the bike. They're gonna see the bike come up into the frame, and it's gonna be a good shot because I see the bike floating in the air. I said, I gotta give him a little extra air. So I said, guys, be ready. I'm gonna give you a little extra air on this. So as I get up in the air, I'm like, this is too much air. I couldn't see anything. I had no reference. It was like pitch black. It was like I might as well put a blindfold on and I plucked my eyeballs out because I could not see anything at all. And I'm just thinking, this is it. I'm done. This is dumb. This is insane. I can't see it. I don't know when I'm gonna land. And as I'm thinking all these stupid thoughts going through my head, bam, the bike comes up, and it's like the bike attacked me. It's like, it just comes right up on me, and my legs are falling off, my arms flail off one side of them, and I'm barely hanging onto the bike, and all the crews along the side of the bridge, and they're watching, they're like, this guy's gonna die.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, dude, that was really nice.
That's the one.
Yeah.
That last jump was a good rehearsal, but they're still missing an important piece of the puzzle. In the movie's script, the bikes are trying to catch up to an old Jeep. But in reality, the Jeep will be going much slower than the bikes. If they come in too hot or off their marks, they could crash into the slower-going Jeep.
Paramedics are here. Paramedics?
Right here. Brightest jacket around.
There you go.
We're here just in case. I mean, everything's planned out, but if there's a problem, that's why we're here. And we're one of the groups on the set that they don't want to see used.
When you get to the bottom as well, just make sure you
I'm going to
clear
stay
out of
straight.
there.
I'm going to clear down so that you guys can have a spot to go.
Actually, guess what?
Practice is over. It's now time for the real thing. Gaston and Jon put on their crash gear while their passengers get ready for a wild ride.
Just hang on, just be at one with
you.
That's what we're doing.
The Jeep's driver, Stuntman Mike Doput, triple checks with Jon to make sure that things are perfectly choreographed.
But I'm just going to go right through the intersection. I won't slow down until I get through the intersection. Cool. So that gives you guys, and I'm going to stay in the middle so that you guys, if you do come up on me, you just stay to your side. Perfect. All right.
He's not going to be able to go near as fast as we can, so we got to make sure we don't catch up to him in the air or anything, you know what I mean? So, happiness? All right.
A slight drizzle is falling, making the ramps in the road even more slippery.
Is that all right? That's good. Well, we'll get some more.
Give me what you can give me.
Yep.
It's looking sweet. Yeah.
All right.
You good for what, number one?
In stuntman jargon, going to number one means they're headed to their initial position before the stunt. At this point, the jokes stop. Gaston and Jon have to carefully concentrate on the job at hand. Their lives depend on it.
You gotta, in your head, you have to be perfectly calm, you have to be rationally thinking, and you got to be ready to do it just the way you've rehearsed it. And that's one of the hardest things to do, is to be able to focus out all the other sort of craziness that's going on around you and sort of tune it into and just do what you know what to do. That's the tricky part.
Hitting the ramps at close to 50 miles an hour, stuntmen Gaston Morrisson and Jonathan Kralt pull it off perfectly. The director is happy with the shot, so it's time to go set up their next stunt. Back at his trailer, Gaston is getting ready for his next stunt. He will combine two of the most dangerous things a stuntman can use: fire, and bikes.
Last thing we need is gas dripping all out of the bottom of this.
Where do you want to land? On that wet strip there? Is that kind of your landing point?
Yeah, well, basically, yeah. Up the middle. Am I okay to step on this?
This time, Gaston will have to jump his bike through a wall of flames,
Up the middle, sort of along here.
over a parked car,
Landing in here.
to a completely blind landing.
It's a dangerous stunt. I wouldn't do it.
Any bike stuff is dangerous. The small ones will get somebody in trouble just as fast as the big ones. Maybe an inch, just bikes get away from you, and you know, you're balancing on two wheels. Shit goes wrong fast, and it gets ugly, right? All it takes is a bike to land on your leg and it'll rip your leg off, you know, I mean.
Gaston knows what he's talking about. A couple of years ago, he came within a fraction of an inch of losing one of his legs when a simple bike stunt turned sour on him.
I'll show you my leg. I got some good scarring on the back of the leg from where the back of the bike came and chopped. Like, there's a huge hole in my leg. It wasn't good. It was a bad deal. But it's you know, nature of the business here. Where are all the fire extinguishers going to be? We have in here.
One right beside the guy on the bottle.
Okay.
And one on the other side.
Nice. We're clean of flame when we land, hopefully. And if there is any, we'll need some people to put us out.
For Gaston, this is just another day at the office. But working for a director who's also a renowned stuntman himself adds a little spice to the mix.
The performers, they all want to do a good job for the guy because they know what he can do, and it's like, you know, and they know that doing it half-assed, he knows what a half-assed job is and what the real deal is, right? So there is probably a little extra pressure there. Yeah.
When I'm doing stunts, I know my own limitations, and I push myself as far as I possibly can go, sometimes too far. And I expect the same thing from my guys.
I think I might want to use your bike again.
The setup is ready. It's time for Gaston and stuntwoman Kimberly Chang to get ready.
Use it for me?
Yes.
Brilliant. I'll throw them on. I'll be right back.
Is there any gunfire going on through this? Who's firing and who's
My passenger's firing.
firing?
And
in
basically,
the air?
probably in the air when
Okay.
we pass through the flames.
All right. Do you want to try a couple of jumps without fire before we get into the fire?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
Trying it out first without the flames will let them get a feel for the ramp and also see where they will be landing.
Are you good?
Director Lauro Chartrand, director of photography Sherry Bailey like what they see.
You wanted air, you got air this time.
Now it's time for the real thing. Going through a 20-foot high wall of flames is no small feat,
So, we ready?
even though they won't be in the actual fire for more than a fraction of a second. The extreme heat could severely burn them.
Oh, yeah, you love this, don't you? Oh, it's ice cold.
Gas, Kimmy's getting up.
Yeah, go ahead.
They are both wearing fire-retardant clothing and a protective fire gel on their exposed skin. The gel should protect them from direct flame contact, but either way, they'll feel the heat. The cameramen are fine-tuning their equipment. Special effects are about to go hot. Adrenaline is starting to flow. At the height of the jump, Kimberly will have to pull out an automatic handgun and unload 10 rounds of ammunition in under a second. Just a few minutes before noon, Gaston once again puts his life on the line.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Action.
Once again, Gaston pulls it off perfectly.
He's incredible. He's one of those stunt guys that can do anything, right? Multi-talented. You know, you can throw him in any position, any type of stunt, and you know the guy's going to give you 100%, and he's going to pull it off and look like a pro.
Get it? I feel warm in there. It's all warm.
That's good, man. The gun, she was firing the gun like right from...
Yeah, bang.
Gaston's skill is impressive. But doing stunts for a living can be unforgiving.
Good work, young lady.
In the long run, injuries are almost always inevitable.
Injuries are always a bit of a delicate subject. Most of my injuries have been from motorcycle stuff. Bikes beat you up. There's no doubt about that.
I think early on in a lot of guys' careers, they start to get a Superman complex. And it's easy to do because you fall from a building and you don't die, you know, whether you land on a pad or are on a cable, whatever the case might be. But you tend to start to get a little desensitized from all the big action because you do it on a fairly it becomes normal to you. And you tend to feel like, oh, I can do that, I can do that, I can do that. And you push it a little further until you get bit and break something or get hurt or something, and then you start to realize, okay, yeah, I'm still human, and things can happen to me, and you pull back and you start getting a little smarter as you get wiser. It's the same with anything, you know?
I know a few stunt guys. My injuries, just the tip of the iceberg. They're pins and needles and like X-rays and stuff all through, and yeah, there's some guys with some good X-ray footage.
Even for trained professionals, accidents happen when they least expect it.
You put the steering wheel.
In this next scene, Laura wants to film a Jeep as it is attacked by a sniper. The script calls for the driver, stuntman Todd Scott, to be shot in the head, while his passenger, actor and stuntman Mike Dopud, grabs the steering wheel and drives off screen.
And bang! Go, let's go!
The special effects team will rig the stuntmen with squib pads, used to simulate gunshot wounds. It's a simple shot. No dangerous stunts are involved. The engine of the old Jeep has given out. It now has to be pulled by a pickup truck to effectively fake its departure from the danger zone. They film the first part of the shot, and everything goes as planned. But on the second take, something goes wrong.
And action.
Go. Cut. Nobody go in.
The moment Todd Scott let go of the steering wheel, the Jeep made a hard left and hit a metal garbage dumpster. Mike Dopud is ejected on impact, while Todd Scott's head goes straight through the windshield. This was no special effect.
Yeah. Let's invite the paramedics to set, please. Guys, clear the way, guys. Clear the way.
The paramedics take no chances. At this point, it's impossible to tell the fake blood from the real blood.
You okay, Todd?
All right.
Any discomfort in your back?
No.
Anything like that?
No. No more than usual.
Let's just have a quick peek. What do you got for layers on here?
Just two.
Yeah. Because that left shoulder is probably what would have got the
It's fine.
Let's bring him to the other side. One hand's not strong.
Good. Okay.
Fortunately, it seems that it's all fake blood from the special effects.
I don't know. I took a squib, put my head down on the steering wheel, and then crashed. That's all I felt.
The windshield came on top of us, so it hit me here and hit Todd there, but we're okay.
Still, the shot is ruined and the Jeep is out of commission. First Assistant Greg Fawcett is not a happy man. Everybody will go home for the evening and lick their wounds, but they'll be back tomorrow for another full day of stunts. Even when things don't go according to plan, the show must still go on.
Oh, well, that's the thing, that's the challenge of doing these movies, though, is you try to figure out a way to do it now.
Back home, Gaston can relax and play with his young son, Cassius. But work is never far from his mind, as he built his beautiful condo right above his workshop.
It's all gonna be yours, baby boy. It'll all be crashed and wrecked by the time you get it, but it could all be yours.
He also lives right above his personal fitness center. Although he retired from competition several years ago to become a full-time stuntman, Gaston still trains as a kickboxer.
When I got into the kickboxing, that's the thing that took me away from the street, took me away from the trouble. That's what actually saved me from continuing a life of complete destruction.
Gaston is a man of action, and working on chemical evil gives him a full dose of it.
Maybe we could tweak it a little bit more so as I'm sort of...
Today, Gaston will act as the film's stunt coordinator. This means he's responsible for every stunt. He's got to make sure that the stuntmen are prepared and that the stunts are effective and safe. The big one today will be a motorcycle high side, where a bike crashes into another one, sending the riders flying in the air.
Go right up in this direction, lock up the back tire, skid it sideways. When the bike hits here, boop, that's when he pops off and flies into there. And a guy will probably want to jump off a little bit to help him get away from the bike.
This is a very dangerous stunt, and it will give Jonathan Kralt a chance to defend his nickname, Johnny Crash.
I already know it's gonna hurt, and I've kind of made peace with that, so.
Get John to do a few by himself first, get comfortable with the procedure, and then you can jump on and have some fun.
Yeah.
Stunt woman Kimberly Chiang will once again ride in the back.
In a perfect world, that's where your bike's gonna end up.
For stuntmen, practice can make the difference between a job well done and a possibly painful experience.
All right, here you go.
Rehearsals are essential to get the stunt right, but sometimes tight shooting schedules mean there's just not enough time. In this case, the risk factor is multiplied. The bike stunt is complicated and dangerous, and Johnny Crash has never done it with a passenger on his bike.
That's the kind of rush I like. It's like skydiving or bungee jumping or anything like that. You know, you get that rush and.
Two up! Two up!
Stunt coordinator Gaston Morrisson is nervous.
Just do one up for now, man. Why does he want to do two up?
He would like Johnny Crash to try it alone first, without his passenger. But Johnny doesn't want to waste any time.
Oh. I want to do a couple. All right.
Gaston lets him have it his way, but is worried he's made the wrong decision.
You all set? You all right?
Yep.
This first try was anything but successful. Although they managed not to hurt themselves, Gaston has seen enough. He stops the practice and asks the special effects guys to dig a trench so the bike's rear wheel can have some additional grip.
Movie magic, it's all about the cheeks.
Even though this should help stop the bike, Johnny Crash will have to hit his mark perfectly.
If I were you, John, I'd run up a couple times like you did before.
Yeah.
Put it in the spot, not come off. Put it in the spot, not come off. Put it in the spot, not come off. And then when you feel 100%, like you know where that bike's gonna slide, where it's gonna hit,
Yeah.
then we can go for it. So you're just gonna line it up, right? Not coming off?
So with the new setup ready, Johnny Crash will try to hit his mark. Again. And again. And again. Until he hits it perfectly. Johnny Crash found his mark, so it's time to practice the full stunt.
Okay, let's do it. So we are gonna run out of rehearsal time.
The clock is ticking, and this practice is taking longer than anticipated, making everyone work just a little bit faster than they should. This is when most accidents happen.
right. Well.
Not bad, but not good enough. For this stunt to work, Johnny Crash has to hit the downed bike at exactly the right spot so that both driver and passenger can be ejected over the bike. Anything else will ruin the shot and could be very dangerous for the stuntman.
Still your front tire hit first, right? Just want to try and bring that back end around a little more. Right.
Once the cameras start rolling, they will land straight on the ground. No padded mats for the real thing.
If you do it like that last one, I think you'd, but harder, you'd come off pretty good. All right? Yeah.
Johnny still needs to practice, but time is running out.
Come on right down, because we're moving on to that next.
Copy that. We'll bring our stuff and start setting up.
Keep kindly.
Do we have time to do one more quick one? Because we got it if we do one more.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
One more. I hate doing one more.
I know.
It's always trouble. One more is always trouble. I don't know.
All right.
Justin.
After practicing this difficult stunt more than a dozen times, Johnny Crash still gets pinned under his bike. He'll just have to hope for the best.
Time is the major issue always, and usually it's like, well, you know, we gotta go, scratch the stunt, we won't do it then. It's like, okay, hold on, no, we can do it, you know. So you get put in a bit of position quite often like that, and that's 9 times out of 10, that's where people get hurt.
Technicians and special effects specialists are setting everything up for the stunt. Director Laurent Chartrand gives his final directives to Gaston and his stunt people.
When you get hit, lay it down that way.
Okay.
And then you're off into that direction.
Okay.
So then when he goes that way too.
Okay.
And high side.
Okay.
There.
All right, you guys are up.
This shot is a very important one for the trailer. The tension is high. Everyone is nervous.
I'll be right here on a park.
If anything were to go wrong, you guys go that way. That's your safe line.
Everything is resting on Johnny Crash's shoulders. The 31-year-old stuntman knows that successfully completing this stunt will boost his career.
I've been doing this for about 8 or 9 years, since I sort of moved here and started trying to break into the business. A lot of people break in by having a special talent that people need, and they go looking for them. I wasn't one of those people. I was looking to get into the industry and had to learn sort of what I needed to do along the way.
Jonathan Kralt, this is his life. This is what he wanted to do. This is what he's doing. And another guy where you don't, you know, you can say to him, John, I want you to fall off here. I want you to jump your bike from here to here. And he won't like, well, I don't know. And, you know, he'll tell you exactly. He won't hum and haw. He'll just say, well, this is what I need to get it done. This is how I can do it, you know. It's just no nonsense. I like guys that are straight, you know, and you don't have to worry about it.
You ready, John? So, you guys are launching, right?
Yep.
Pushing off a bit?
Yep.
Okay, give me some air. All right. Fucking have a good ride.
Cameras ready? Here we go, locked up all around, and roll cameras.
Rolling.
Coming in at twice the speed he practiced at, Johnny Crash flies in head first, zoomed in on Gaston's crashed bike. And pulls it off perfectly. While both the rider and his passenger lie supposedly unconscious on the ground, the hero grabs the bike and escapes.
Cut! Yeah!
Sorry, get you on the camera.
Oh, you hit the camera?
That's the most deserved lunch I've seen in a while.
Check it again.
Everyone is ecstatic.
Sweet one, Crash. Sweet one, bud.
Johnny Crash and Kimberly Chang did a perfect stunt, and no one got hurt.
Yeah,
Director Laurent Chartrand couldn't ask for anything better.
Picture perfect, you know? That's the way I envisioned it. That's the way they did it.
And then
You know, these guys know what I'm looking for. They're of the same caliber.
It's day 3 of the Chemical Evil trailer shooting schedule. The set is moved to the country. In the script, an army of good guys gives the final assault on a hacienda controlled by chemically resuscitated rebels. This is going to be the busiest day for Gaston and the other stuntmen. The first scene they film is a shootout in front of the hacienda. Over 20 men will be firing automatic weapons of all gauges and sizes. Although they will only be firing blanks, security around the guns is almost obsessive. And the most cautious of them all is director Laurent Chartrand. He found out the hard way how dangerous blanks can be.
This is what can happen. Things can go in here and you can end up with a zipper. Blanks are very powerful. They're full of gunpowder. There's no bullet, but they're full of gunpowder. So it's an explosion that's going on in the gun, and they project anything that might get in the way. So stuff can still come out the barrel, and it can get you in the eye. And what happened to me was, when you have a repeating gun, like a semi-automatic, what makes the shells eject normally is the bullet is going down the barrel and there's back pressure coming, and it ejects the empty shell. Okay? When you don't have real bullets, you have to have something to cause that back pressure to make the empty shell come out. So what they do is they screw a little fitting in there. So if your barrel was this big, it makes it down to this big, so that you have back pressure to eject the empty shell. So you still get that effect of bullet or shells flying out, you know, when you see in the movies. So that was what was in the gun when I got shot. And the director at the time wanted a bigger flash, a bigger flame coming out of the gun. So a lot of the proper personnel were sent home. It was late and so on and so forth. So they poured gunpowder down the barrel on top of a full load blank, which made it even stronger. And it stripped the threads on that fitting and it blew it right out like a bullet. So when I was used as an example for many years, stunt coordinators would hire me and say, okay, this is the guy that got shot. This is why we're careful. This is why we won't let the camera guys put their face right there in front of the guns when they're firing, you know. They are real guns.
While Laura is directing the shootout scene, a second unit is hard at work preparing for the next stunt.
So I don't know if we can do a little pre-explosion. Like a little puff to have them come through the smoke and to obliterate the rams. Yeah.
In this one, 3 men are going to be catapulted into the air when bombs explode around them.
Brake test. 150 PSI.
To reproduce this effect, they will use a very basic but also very dangerous piece of equipment, the air ram.
There's a switch on here, like a little trigger switch, that as soon as they step on it, it compresses it, sends a signal to release a valve to let the air out. It's pretty simple.
Simple, but merciless.
Yep.
Countless stuntmen have been seriously injured by these pneumatic trampolines. Gaston Morrisson is one of them.
There's a critical spot where you put your foot on the lid that you can ride the lid. So the lid goes up, and if my right arm was my foot, you want to sort of be able to ride that lid and propel yourself up. Well, I didn't step quite deep enough on that lid. I had a long run, and it was a little slick, and it was my own fault. I didn't get my footing perfect when I stepped on that lid. The lid went up, and it put my foot back towards my shin, and my Achilles tendon ruptured. So I haven't gotten back on an air ram yet. I plan to, but I'm still working to get the strength back in the leg as good as it could be.
Here, then I'll have another one straight on.
Stunt woman Melissa Stubb is the stunt coordinator and second unit director. She is one of the very best in the business and knows what it takes to make a good and safe stunt.
Something like that. We'll do some rehearsals and see how far they come. And
The special effects team will rig everything up so that this peaceful backyard can look like a war zone.
You guys come over about 6 inches this way.
This includes planting fake bombs in the ground.
The biggest concern is shrapnel, usually. So try and avoid it by putting our own mortar in the ground. There's gonna be a small, probably 1.5 to 2 ounce black powder lifter. which is a black powder wrapped in a cardboard container and tape.
To simulate exploding bombs, the FX boys use a mix of black powder and gasoline for the bang and the flames. And they fill their mortar with cardboard, peat moss, and other soft debris to accurately recreate exploding soil.
This gives the dirt effect without any rocks.
By blowing up their own dirt, they reduce the chance of projecting loose rocks.
And this is a flash pack to make sure it lights.
Okay, I'd like all the guys to tell me when you're ready to do the test. I'd like all the boys to watch the test.
Stand back and
Laura and Melissa want to do a test blast to make sure the flames are high enough and wide enough. It will also give the stuntmen an idea of what to expect.
Fingers in your ears, everybody.
Okay, folks, here we go. And going hot. Going hot. And 3, 2, 1.
Cool. Nice.
The explosion is spectacular, and with just a little tweaking, it will be perfect for the job at hand.
Actually, I like the flame. But I want more dirt.
Oh, we can put
I
more
want
dirt.
more blackness, more dirt.
Oh, do we have any lamp? No, we don't have any lamp black. No.
Well, dirty dirt, whatever you got.
Well, we can't throw anything in. So.
No, I don't mean dirty dirt. I mean, I don't care about the color.
We'll throw more dirt in. Sure. I think that amount of flame looks good in there. I think, and it's nice and high. I'll keep everyone safe. But it's look good. I think it looks good.
Once again, Jonathan Kralt will be at center stage. He has done several successful air ram stunts before, but he is nervous. These unforgiving machines have ruined too many careers.
I've seen so many guys lose their knees and leg muscles to these air rams. I was doing one night with a buddy of mine, and he tore his muscle right here, went off, and his quad ripped totally. He had 2 baseballs in here, so straight to the hospital to stitch it back up and stuff. And you can ask any of these stunt guys, numerous guys have blown their knees on these things, because if you don't hit it just on the right angle, they're just such strong mechanical devices. They'll rip and tear tendons and,
All right, guys, let's lock it up. Everybody walk away. Walk away. This is a rehearsal.
On your own timing. 3, 2, 1, go.
They start off by rehearsing without arming the air rams, and then gradually increasing the pressure up to 300 pounds per square inch. That's enough power to send a grown man flying through the air.
Ready, and 3, 2, 1, go.
The rams are all set. The effects are hot. It's time for the real thing.
John, try not to throw this arm, it looks like you're jumping, right? Try and have both hands and lose it after, your hands can separate after, okay?
The stuntmen will be inches from the fireballs, so everyone puts on some fire gel.
And 3, 2, 1, go. Cut. Yeah. Thumbs up, everybody.
Nobody walking in. Everybody just stay right where they are.
Go cold on the rams, please.
The violence of the explosions, so close to the running men, took the breath out of everyone on the set. This is what stunts are all about.
Hey, John.
With his head still reeling from the last stunt, Jonathan Kralt wastes no time and starts to get ready for his next performance. With Gaston and 3 other stuntmen, they will try to perform a world premiere. To have 5 stuntmen simultaneously set on fire from head to toe and firing automatic weapons at the same time. As with every stunt, good preparation is the key to success.
For my setup, and I think most everybody else is going to have the similar setup, I've got some of my dry Pneumatic underwear, which is fire-resistant, fireproof underwear, so you don't get burned, of course. I got a dry set hanging up. I'm going to put that on my skin. Then I've got a set of a fire suit, which is actually a racing suit. It's 3 layers, protects you against fire as well, so you want to sort of layer up. It's all about layering up. I'm going to put that over top. That's going to be dry as well. And we have all our people with our bins, they're gonna put a gel, fire gel, which is another fire retardant that's gonna wet a layer of the Nomex underwear to provide that much more protection. That's gonna go over top of the suit, so now we've got 3 layers, and then we're gonna have our costume that goes over top of that, and we'll put the accelerant. That will be what sets up the flame.
This is a shirt that's been treated with fire retardant so that it burns slower, and we want to test our fuel to make sure that this is gonna give us a nice and large enough flame.
Stunt coordinator Melissa Stubb uses gasoline to soak the shirt.
Acetone.
And acetone to give it even more punch.
Light it.
Right in. Flamethrower in.
Out?
Nope. Okay, put it on.
Hit it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, unless you want to be human marshmallows, I am going to invite everybody. Nobody goes behind this truck. There is explosives being placed there. I would like to invite everybody to the front of the 2.5 now, please.
With a stunt as big and dangerous as this one, nothing is left to chance. They check and rehearse every single thing that could go wrong. And that flamethrower certainly fits in that category.
Okay, bro. Thanks, Brad. Put on your eyebrow. Stop over here.
Okay, give it again. Give us a straight.
When you're getting into that flames, you're linked straight across. So I don't think we have to worry about a back row situation. But I think, yeah, if you're not in the flames, instead of keep marching forward like this, you know, react to the flames and you turn and boom and get into it and just get yourself lit. You know, even if you have to, if the guy next to you is lit, bump into him, you know, reacting to the flames.
Does Laurel want the zombie walk?
No. I can tell you right now, that's not what he wants. It's
No, he
just
definitely
normal.
doesn't.
It's definitely not.
You have rigor mortis is not yet set in.
Damn.
It's almost like you're superhuman. You just, you're aware, you know what's going on.
It's time for the final preparations. The tension is getting higher and higher as the time draws near. Full-body fire burns are extremely dangerous and everyone needs to be fully prepared. Any mistake could have serious consequences.
I'm just thinking you might want to go at least on the top. 1 layer wet on the bottom, maybe 2 layers of wet on top. Just put a little more hard on your shoulder blades where most of the fuel is going to be.
I'm just sort of cupping my mouth.
Yeah, I heard that last couple weeks
Just
ago.
trying to blow down.
Yeah, well,
Helps a little bit. I can also have that wet layer on too. So.
Everything is ready. The stuntmen are impatient and fidgety. It's time to do the shot.
We are going into fire burn mode.
Lovely. It's getting dark.
They're running late and the sun is setting. They need to speed everything up or they will not be able to film the stunt.
You gotta go, bud. You gotta go. Let's do this.
Once again, time is not on their side.
Work out the gunfire. You might like fire, you get lit, try and fire if you can. Okay? Does that make sense?
Gentlemen, are you ready? Here we go. Light the flamethrower.
The stunt will be shot from 2 angles. For the first one, the men will not be set on fire.
Okay, ready, and action.
Hey guys,
Couldn't get to those guys on the outside.
go get your red stuff on.
Gaston, Jonathan, and their 3 fellow stuntmen put on their final layers of wet Nomex underwear. The clothing has been wetted down with fire gel, a water-based gel that is essentially thickened water mixed with oils and other skin moisturizers. It is supposed to protect human skin from burns for up to a minute. They will also put the gel on any exposed skin. This should keep the stuntmen safe from burns for the 20 or so seconds the stunt will require.
So, gas.
Yeah, man.
Boom. Go down.
Yep.
Spray from your head. You're on your back. Go on your stomach.
I'm on my stomach when I first go down. Yep.
I'll get your head, shoulders, feet.
Yep.
Flip you over.
Yep.
Go from your chest down.
Okay.
Okay? If you're still hot, go over to your stomach.
And you're gonna sort of spray.
Yeah. Away from your face when you go over. Same, and on the back.
Fire safety team, right here.
Right there.
The boys are gonna run over there to about the cement mixer if they can make it. If they're too hot before they get there, they will go down. But so you gotta run from here to there to put them out, okay?
Once they are set on fire, they will not be able to breathe. Their masks will fog up instantly. Blind and choking, they will still need to follow the script. The director wants them to follow the truck and shoot at it. Their hearing will be their only clue. Each stuntman will be under the care of a fire team. One person with a chemical extinguisher and another one with a fire blanket. The second their man goes down, they will run to him and put the fire out.
You okay, Chad? Can you breathe? Talk to me. Yeah, ready. At the toes.
Look at your man, guys. When they go up, they're gonna look all the same.
Another source for concern are the guns they're shooting. Gunpowder and fire don't mix very well. If the guns overheat, they could literally explode in their hands.
All right, guys, camera's going up. Moments away. Everybody walking away. Can't go.
Okay, roll it.
Roll camera.
Run away, run away.
Ready, and action!
They're basically blind once they're lit up. You know, things can happen. You can get burned, and it's hard to pay attention to all of them at once. If somebody gets in trouble, it's very dangerous.
Everybody got their guy? Yeah. Anyone good? All right, count off.
That's a great one.
That was nice.
Yeah, everything's
Worked out well.
Gloves.
Thank you. Now, you guys gonna put all this stuff back in my bucket?
Well,
then,
yeah,
I
at
guess?
least we'll get it into your bucket. Don't worry, you take care of yourself.
Got a little warm at the end, but like no actual heat. Could have definitely gone a lot longer than that. I thought it'd be getting hot right away and you'd feel it.
Unbelievably cool. It's
all right.
Good work. The thing is it's tricky to see. You get hit with the thing. You just kind of got to do what you've rehearsed, right? So get hit with the flame, boom, go down, come back up, walk and fire, and all of a sudden, then you can't see shit. There's flames all flicking all over the place, and I could just barely make out my cement mixer, and I just boom, went down at the cement mixer.
There's a lot going on in that shot.
Yeah,
a lot going on.
Yeah.
So.
And then it's hard to breathe after that. And then it's like, put me out, I gotta breathe. And then it violates every instinct, every being, every atom in the human body. You know, why is your brain gonna do that? Because, you know, something else in your brain says, I can do it and survive. So, you know, it's a weird deal. There's a lot of overriding, talking your angel, devil kind of stuff going on, you know, throughout the whole process. So